Yo, what is poppin' YouTube fam? This is your boy JMU, where being proactive is attractive. So, we actually got a special guest with us here today. Go on and introduce yourself.
Greetings, I'm Steven. I'm merely a student of the Jamelin University. It's definitely a meme, but we're gonna act like it today.
So, what was it that Pedro had said? What did he say? He was Top J? Is that what he said?
Top J.
Top J?
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Fair enough. I do like the sound of that. But anyway, on to what we got going on here. We have a Kevin Samuels video in front of us today. We're going to react to it. We have seen the first few minutes of it, but it was so good to where I thought, you know what? Why don't we just make a video of this? So, for those of you who know about Kevin Samuels and whatnot, I know a lot of us don't really revisit his channel due to, his passing. We don't think there's any new content, but we have actually we just searched his channel and there's some new content, and we got something on here that's pretty good and I think most men need to see, and it is regarding image. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and push the play button.
And I definitely need to see it because I'm a straight bone.
I will start doing videos in terms of dress attire, especially for those in their early to mid 20s, hell, even late 20s. I will start doing that, but I will not do that until I get the fan base up some more, because that's the goal, right? Like, I want to get it, a decent enough fan base so when I do start putting out the actual lifestyle improvement stuff, there's enough eyes that can see it, right? Because if I do this stuff now, let's say I start getting more traction later, people aren't going to go all the way back to the beginning. Folks typically maybe go a few vids back. They don't really backtrack all the way to the beginning. So there's that. So it's been a couple minutes so far. We're going to go ahead and hit this play button.
You're a young black man. A black man wore different kinds of clothing to see if people treated him differently. What's up, y'all? I'm Pedro. I'm 24, and like many black men, I'm extremely careful about what I choose to wear. Every day, we're dressing for survival, and basically what it said is he did an experiment where I must perform the same activities in both weeks. While dressing up, my shirt must be tucked in, I must wear a tie or a blazer. While dressed down, outfits I wear must be something I can comfortably sleep in. I will not expose my tattoos, I will not change my typical behaviors or act differently than I normally would. That's how he went around the first day, and this is what he said. My thoughts while I'm dressed up: I felt pretentious. This brother was dressed this way. And he said he felt, listen what he said now, I felt pretentious, uncomfortable, and embarrassed, especially in the blazer. That's a damn shame. That black men have our images dropped so much to where men coming out of the house dressed like a man feels uncomfortable, embarrassed, pretentious.
So, for starters, what do we got? We got that out. What did you think of that image there, the image of that man? I personally didn't think he looked that bad. Now, granted, based on his body language and his posture, yeah, he didn't look very comfortable, and you were right, he did have a button up. So maybe that is a little bit better than smart casual, but I am more of a smart casual dresser, right? It's like that mix between business casual and more casual-ish, right? My dress attire is more smart casual / streetwear, but you can take streetwear and make it actually look good at the same time, and not make it look like you're out there on the streets, and you're from, you're out, you come from the streets or whatnot, you know what I mean? Thoughts on this guy and how he's dressed?
He looks uncomfortable. I try to be comfortable, but hey, it works for me.
Now, granted, when I started dressing better, I think that was the one reservation I had, and the one concern I had was, is this going to make me uncomfortable? And as I further delved into the whole thing, I found that you can find things that are very comfortable and still look very nice, right? This is why when I go to a clothing store, the very first thing I look for, and I feel the material. That's the first thing I do, is the material. If the material doesn't feel good, I'm not even looking at the size.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I actually think
all
like,
about the material.
I think it's like contrary to how you actually dress, but your confidence, and that does come from how you dress, obviously, because if you're wearing cooler clothes, you're gonna feel better.
Look good, feel good.
Yeah, which is something that you told me. But still, you know.
I mean, hey, it's not just going to the gym, but it's also, you know, hey, dressing better and all that stuff. You'll invite more attention, you'll invite more eyes, and
It's like-
that'll increase your confidence, and that'll only urge you to do it more.
I think it's kind of an artificial thing, though. I think you can definitely have that without it, but it helps you get to that level for sure.
That's true. And I think this is the issue that a lot of us get misconstrued a lot. I think it's not so much as the self-confidence. I think it has more to do with, you know, giving people correct perceptions, because people are going to perceive you often incorrectly a lot of the times, and people make quick judgments just based off your appearance. People will next you, people will X you, not just women, but doors close, opportunities close when you're not presented well, just off rip, you know what I mean? So it's just like you know, I understand that you shouldn't really care about what others think of you, but unfortunately, how people perceive you is how they're going to treat you, how they're going to move with you, and that's going to determine what box you get put in.
Yeah.
And that's probably before you even say a word to them. You know what I mean?
Personally, I haven't went through like the struggles that this guy kind of talks about in his article or video. He kind of talks about how like he's treated differently. That's the whole point of it, in kind of a prejudiced way. But for me,
we
it's
didn't
more
even
like,
we didn't even get there.
no,
yet.
we didn't. But I'm kind of hinting towards it. For me, it's like my biggest concern is like I usually dress like a bum, you know, the flip flops and shorts.
So what you're telling me is you don't know.
I hope
So
I
you're
don't meet the
telling
love of
me.
my life today, please.
So what dang, you gotta hope you don't meet the.
I know.
See,
dude.
but that means you're ill prepared. That means you're ill prepared.
That also means she got the standard set, because I don't dress like that every day the way that this man is. So
See, what I did, I started making dressing nice a little bit more normal, because I didn't like the idea of only dressing nice when I'm about to go out on the town.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Every time I step, like if I'm not going to work, right? It doesn't even matter if I'm going to the damn grocery store. I got some sort of cologne on, and I got something on both wrists, like a bracelet / watch. I may or may not have something around my neck. Clothes that fit me right. Like my shit will be ironed. I know a lot of y'all out there don't iron. You know what I mean? Like I'll have clean shoes. You know, if the shoes aren't clean, I'll bust out the magic stuff and just scrub the shoes clean. Yeah,
They must
yeah.
milk you at the mall. They say, "Come here, you spend $70 at those little
Nah.
shoes, don't you?"
No. Hey, granted, that bottle will last you a good while. I mean, I've been using that bottle since like 2020, and that's it ain't out yet.
I'm just
So
joking. How much should you buy it for?
I didn't buy it.
Okay.
Fair enough, but let's go ahead and press on.
Let's press on, shall we?
Because we no longer associate our image with anything other than something you can sleep in and roll out of your bed. That's on us. I softened my walk to mute the piercing click-clack of my shoes. My belt had to constantly be adjusted on top of it, and these pants were giving me a wedgie. In other words, them dress shoes, them hard shoes, you know, when I say pull up, get rid of the Jordans, and pull up your pants and get rid of the Jordans, that's what this man is talking about. He felt uncomfortable dressing in the uniform of business. Why? What are his experiences? A woman who worked at 7-Eleven greeted me with a smile and instantly asked, "What's this for? A meeting or interview?" But she normally says meeting, interview, or court. He said, "It's for work," I said. As I grabbed my change for the bus, she raised her eyebrow and nodded her head. This was in the first 10 minutes of my day. I thought, damn, this is going to be an eventful few weeks. My bus pass didn't have enough money on it, but before I could even get the change I got from 7-Eleven, the driver said, "Come on, it's okay." That's pretty tight. I got to save my change. At lunch, I headed to BLD, an upscale spot for lunch. The service was cool. The service seated me in the front of the restaurant where I received my order ahead of two other guys that were before me. I walked over to Chase Bank. The security guard not only opened the door for me, but also gave me a heads up about signing a waiting list to be assisted by a teller. On my way out, I asked him where ATM was, and he chased me down to inform me about available parking, assuming I drove, but I walked. Pretty damn decent treatment, if I'm say, but then he dressed this way, to where he felt more comfortable.
All right, we're gonna pause it right there. So, as you see, the stage has been set. So this little experiment right here, what we got, right? A woman who worked at 7-Eleven greeted that man with a smile and instantly asked, what is this for, meeting or an interview, right? Then, his bus pass has insufficient funds, but before he can use the change, the driver said it was okay and he was able to ride the bus anyway. You know, when he was at lunch, you know, the service there was good. The folks there were very attentive to his needs, very accommodating, right? Now, you had just made a comment earlier about how you said you dress bummy all the time, but you don't experience the discrimination. My question is, do you really know if you would have been treated differently had you started dressing nicer? Let's just say you started dressing nicer on a regular occasion. So you mean to tell me you're not gonna notice a difference as to how people move with you or whatnot, or how people interact with you or whatnot?
Definitely in a social setting, but maybe not on like the daily. Maybe I'm just not attentive to it, but then again, I try to like kind of separate myself from external forces of confidence and worth, and just try to find it myself. But yeah, maybe I just didn't realize the importance of that. That is kind of relevant.
Now, one thing Devon told me a while ago, and I have to give him credence for this. I remember there was a time. Remember when I was getting like the Louis belts and the Alexander McQueens.
We're all making fun of you.
Or not? Yeah, the Alexander McQueens, some $800 shoes,
too far
and all that, right? But Devon has said something was like, and I thought, you know, that was true self-love, right? Having self-love is you know, valuing yourself enough to where you don't have cheap stuff on and all that other stuff, right? And Devon said, he said true self-love is having your skin, your face moisturized. Not no expensive clothes, not no expensive shoes.
Yeah.
And, you know, come to find out, you know, at first I thought he was just kind of, you know, just being himself. I thought he was just being himself, right? But, you know, there was something behind those words that he had said, right? But at the end of the day, I still take something away from how he used to dress, right? You don't have to dress in expensive shit, but you can still look good at the same time. However, I still have enough self-love and self-respect for myself to not allow others to see me in a I can't say compromising state, because looking like a bum, you're not really in a compromising state, but I have enough self-love for myself to not allow people to see me in I guess what I would perceive as a pitiful state. You know what I mean? It's like, especially if I got the clothes, you know what I mean? If I got the clothes, you know, again, look good, feel good, and it's like, why would I allow somebody to see me looking like a bum? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That means I just don't give a shit about my I think people really should start giving a shit about their image at the very least. Image is important.
Well,
speaking of which, that's what this video is about.
It is, but for me, on the contrary, I believe that confidence comes from competence. So
Yes.
if I'm to go out there, you know, when I spend all this effort dressing this way every day, and I'm not spending the same amount of effort to eat healthy, to study my nutrition, to go to the gym, is that really real confidence? To me, no, I wouldn't feel good.
And I agree
like
with
it's
you.
a fake Band-Aid.
Those things come first. Those things come first.
So this can act like a Band-Aid and kind of get you satisfied whenever we should be reaching for more.
You know, and that's what I realized when it came to what Devon was saying. I was like, I just have my shit backwards.
Yeah, the moisturizing, working out, you know, eating healthy. Yeah, that's the priority. So.
Hey, when I was back in my other place, I was like 200 pounds, damn near 210 back in August of last year. I'm 170. I'm under 175 now.
Yeah, good job. But yeah, if you have this self-confidence, you're going to become stagnant in your growth, and you're going to think that there's no need to improve because you're already getting people's attention. And if you live for other people's attention, which is, you know, why a lot of people improve, that's what's going to happen. You're going to stagnate your growth.
Shit, hey.
And it takes an external.
It depends on what kind of person you are, right? If you're the kind of person that is, if you're a very content person, then yes, I 100% agree with you. But if you're the kind of person that is always striving for like the next best thing, like always wanting more, always like you're not satisfied with what you got here, you gotta go higher. You accomplish this, okay, now I want to accomplish the next thing. I think that's gonna be a never-ending pursuit, right? Like the self-improvement and the growth never stops. It never ends. Even if you're in a good place, right? Let's say I am making 100 grand, right? I'm not gonna stop there. I want to keep on going. Period. Point blank, you know what I mean? And I hope that would set a good example for a future family that I may have, right? To where like my future king and queen can look at the example that I live for myself and kind of aspire to always, you know, obviously never settle. Haha, I know that's like the funny thing nowadays, but you actually never settle by putting in that work. Always putting in the work, always striving to do better, right? Yeah, you may have set a record for yourself, but continuously break those records.
I think you should settle, or else you're never going to be happy. You can always achieve more. But to an extent, with external factors like what we're talking about with the dressing up, I mean, because it leads to other things like whenever you feel like you need more, you buy a nicer car, you rent a nicer apartment. In reality, you're digging yourself deeper into debt. And if you apply the same effort towards your own body, you have real confidence. Even if it's not working out, even if it's like working towards like a job or a skill.
Oh, you're talking about the lifestyles.
You take that anywhere. That's the same thing as dressing. You dress every day. It's part of your life. It's like brushing your teeth. It's eating. At this point, it's like essential to the human experience.
Fair.
But yeah, I think it's secondary to the things that are actually real.
You, your body,
society,
what's in here, what's here, getting these going, getting the weight down again, taking care of your face, taking care of your skin.
Yeah.
You know, clear skin, clear face, good hair, well groomed, and all that, and decent body. You know, that's first. You know, your temple. Your temple always comes first.
Yeah.
You know? But the environmental stuff, that can come later. And I 100% agree with you in terms of, you know, the always seeking more external factors. You know, this is what happens. My mom always used to say, the problem with people, more money, more spending power. People, you know, they used to eat at McDonald's, now they're making more money. Now they're doing steak dinners all the time.
So
and shit like that.
You're still poor, even if you're making a lot of money. Like
that's a poor person mindset.
Your standard of living goes up. When in reality, you should be satisfied.
And that's why people break themselves.
Yeah, but I guess the key component is that like you should seek satisfaction and gratification from yourself rather than others, and that's where most of the stuff that they're talking about comes from. Well, this is somewhat related to the video, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, but it's just fine though. Let's keep going.
I felt much more comfortable with my hoodie and sweats. I don't have to worry about the click-clack of my dress shoes. Experience, I saw the same woman in 7-Eleven. She only asked me if I wanted a receipt. No smile, no conversation, just business. My bus pass, again, didn't have money on it, but the bus driver would not move until I put in my change. Went to the same place for lunch. Was greeted by the same server. This time, they looked toward the back of the restaurant for a place to seat me. He ended up seating me next to the cash register. I received my food fairly fast, and he asked me if I needed hot sauce. I caught him looking at me through his peripheral during my meal. At Chase, the same security guard only greeted me with a head nod. Nobody assisted me and walked in. After sitting there for several minutes, I remembered about the sign-in list. The teller who helped me last week was talking to a client And while the Stella who greeted me last week was walking a client out, and after passing me a couple of times, she finally approached me. What's the problem here? The problem is in our minds, in this young man's mind, dressing like a man makes you wrong.
Well,
He was comfortable dressing like a boy.
So, we got the baseline. The guy was treated fairly well, right? People sought him out in in all the areas of service. They sought him out. They approached him first. Hey, how you doing? Is everything good? You need anything? They're more accommodating, this, that, and the third. But then you reverse and you just decide to dress in hoodies and sweats. Nobody really even approaches you. Nobody looks at you. People seat you in different areas. They don't seat you in the middle anymore. Probably because they put you in the back of the restaurant for image purposes. Set you next to the cash register. Constantly getting looked at in your peripherals if you're doing, you're potentially doing something wrong, whatever. Again, I don't think this is a black and white thing. I think this is a class thing. I always say it's like, just to no surprise, when you sit here and you dress like you're somebody important, people just treat you like you're important, right? How people perceive you is how they're going to treat you. They'll treat you exactly as they perceive you. And this man may be filthy rich, and these folks may not even know it. But hey, he don't look the part. He don't look it. So, and again, it's highly unfortunate that folks will move with you how they perceive you based off of just first glance, first appearance. But it is what it is. And again, like, some doors close because of that stuff, or doors will some doors just won't even open.
I think it's definitely the colors thing is what Kevin is saying.
I think the thing he mentioned in terms of color was the fact that black men are by default uncomfortable dressing that way, which I 100% agree.
It's not the social norm for
Yeah, we're used to dressing ghetto, street, even the non-ghetto folks, right? Let's say even just your black folks that grow up in the suburbs. Yeah, they're wearing sweats. They're wearing maybe like nice hoodies, right? Nice name brand hoodies. They're probably wearing chains and stuff like that. They got the Jordans or the Air Forces or whatnot. So even then, even in that regard, they're not like dressing more smart casual or whatnot. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably still dressing like maybe some uppity college kids or.
Well, why do you have to dress? Why do you have to dress nice, especially as a black man in this video? Is what he's saying, to demand respect, to get respect.
I know.
Whereas if you see like a raggedy dressed like white guy or I guess a white guy, you'd be like, oh, he might be an IT guy or whatever.
Okay, now, I will give you this.
There's a different perception of people based on that. It's just not. I think it is
one thing I will acknowledge. As a black man, you do have to. As I was raised, I was always told this, right? You gotta put in extra effort. Where they gotta try, you gotta extra try. If they're extra trying, you gotta extra try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meaning, you gotta basically look more important than the white man to be taken seriously.
You think that's true?
For the most part, it depends on how you speak too. Depends on how you speak. Are you well mannered? Are you well spoken? Do you have a pretty extensive vocabulary? You know what I mean? Like, how good is your articulation? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of that. So I think all of it's important. I don't think it's just how you dress. You know what I mean? I think, the whole package matters.
Yeah. It's sad that happens, but yeah, I think it's pretty observable.
It is what it is. And again, if you're trying to enter the next stage, you're trying to get to the next level, image starts to matter. Now, at certain points, if you're just like on like the ground level stuff, image doesn't really matter. Like, who cares, right? But when you start going up and up in the higher echelons, especially certain jobs and whatnot, certain careers, yeah, image 100% matters. This is where you start having those LinkedIn accounts and all that stuff. Being LinkedIn level, yeah, image 100% matters. But let's go ahead and keep it
today. But it's still not what men wear. Not taking care of business. But we have been convinced to take our own image so lightly that we don't even value the way we walk out of the house. So don't be surprised when somebody who looks like you can play with your image. That's why you can have somebody call that man, don't judge him because this people's crazy. That's why we can do it, because we don't value each other's image. I told you I might not be going where you think I'm going with this. Image as power. And it is time out for it. My opinion is black men, we need to start calling out black men who play with the image of other black men. Calling them crazy, calling them thugs, calling them criminals when they don't have any of these records. Calling them betas, calling them gay, all this other stuff. Dr. Tommy Curry, man not. Are we not men? Just because the man may not walk like you, talk like you, groove like you, does he not deserve the same respect you demand for yourself? And if you think you got a problem with him, give him a damn phone call. Speak to a man before getting online talking about a man. Because that's what we have witnessed. People getting online trashing a man's image as if that was not a man. People have been asking me what I thought about the things that have been going on, and I'm sitting back and I'm saying it's about time.
Any comments to that? There's one thing he had said that I kind of caught on to. Oh, I forget what it was. I forget. No, it's not. It's just, oh man, it was so quick. It was so quick.
We did kind of reiterate what you were just.
Yeah, I was like, that's exactly what we were just saying. It was exactly what I was just saying about your image and all that mess. But let's go, keep it going.
It's about time we start talking about how we depict ourselves in media, how we choose to show up in media. We can't, and while back in 1915, you can blame D.W. Griffith for putting actors in blackface. And you can blame them for saying this was what you thought black people were. You can't do that the same way now. If we don't like our image, it's up to us to change it. So I'm going to do this. I'm not going to change the way I move. Not going to change the way I move. I've been saying it since day one. There's plenty enough room. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room. And we do better instead of trying to decide who leads. Who needs to lead when who needs to lead when the market ain't even created? Build your own. Joe Rogan don't complain about what somebody else is doing. He don't complain about what Philip DeFranco is doing. They don't worry themselves about what PewDiePie is doing or Mr. Beast or Dude Perfect. None of them. Image is powerful, people. Image, mage, wizard, however you want to slice it. It is powerful. How you show up, what you do, what you say belies not just you. Like I was trying to tell, I've tried to say for the longest, there's an individual image, there's also an ethnic image. And if we want better outcomes as men, we must improve our ethnic image as men.
Like I said, image is power. It wasn't just how you dress, but it was how you speak, how you present yourself, all of that. And I do remember what he had said earlier. He was talking about, having enough respect for yourself and how you present yourself to other people. That's what I was talking about. I was like, I literally just said that. Like I said, I was like, I got enough self-love for myself to where I will not allow other people to see me looking like a bum and a bummy look and say, I just won't allow it. You know what I mean? To where it's like, even if I'm tired, you know, even if I'm just like, damn, I really don't feel like ironing this stuff and really just putting the stuff on, it's like, gotta get that discipline. Still gotta do it. Gotta do it. Because you don't know who you're gonna run into out there.
You never know.
You know, hey,
So
you could run into that missus, you know what I mean? That missus that you actually want to be like, you know what? I want to talk to her. But if you're looking like a bum, and you say, excuse me, ma'am, and then she looks at your shoes, she see your shoes is dirty.
No socks.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Don't even. Oh, let's not do that, though. But yeah, like, women look at your shoes. They look at your shoes, and yeah, they you better be smelling good. Don't smell bad and all that stuff. It's like, okay. But all right, you know, keep pushing. We almost done.
That comes from the way we carry ourselves, the way we appear, A, the way we behave, B, the way we communicate, the words that come out of our mouths, the way we type, the way we write. How many of you will sit down and write a comment in the comment section? Misspellings, intentionally misspelling words, no punctuation, and just leave it there. How about this? Write it on a note. How about you just hit spell check and grammar and let the system correct it? Because it's next to you, black man. Appear, behave, communicate. And if you don't know how, time to go back to school. I will say that it is a struggle. Oftentimes, listen to the way we speak to one another. We can improve this. But it all comes down to this thing right here. The internet is here to stay. And what we put online, shout out to Maximus Decimus Meridius. What we do in life echoes an eternity. Once it's online, it will echo an eternity. Stop playing with your image. It's not a toy. It's not a game. Stop playing with other black men's image. It's not a toy. It's a game. And I will tell you this, when you choose to play with a man's image, you are choosing violence. Things so that's it's going around now. You're waking up and choosing violence when you mess with somebody's image because you're dealing with their brand, their reputation. So don't get surprised when it comes back at you in ways that you could not anticipate. That's why I don't beef. I'm not playing with nobody's image. I'm not playing with anybody's brand. Too important. I'd rather leave it alone. Because as soon as time you decide to do that to somebody, you can't get upset when they come back at you. And are we not seeing that right now? Lots of lessons in the last week or so. What are we choosing to learn? Till next time, talk at you later. Back on in 30.
Okay. So that last little bit was pretty interesting. He talks about not tarnishing other people's image, which I 100% agree, right? And this is a big problem, not just with women, but with men as well, right? Especially a lot of, I guess, what you would call the soy boys or whatnot, or the more feminine dudes, right? They, especially if you're somebody they don't like, or you know, you've gotten under their skin, the first thing they want to do is go for reputation destruction.
Yeah.
Right? You know, if you got a girl, let's say maybe it's a girlfriend or somebody that you were dating or whatnot, and y'all are added on social media, and y'all start dating each other for let's say about 4 months, you know, and she gives you the what are we conversation. Let's say you don't see yourself having a long-term thing with her. She gets pissed, right? And the next thing you know, she's blasting you on TikTok. She's blasting you on, you know, just other social medias, just kind of almost dragging your name through the mud, whatever, you know what I mean? You know, stuff like that happens all the time. Let's say you were married with somebody, or, you know, just whatever, you were married, long-term relationship, right? woman cheats on you, but she doesn't just cheat on you and you break up with her. If you don't tell your close ones, your friends, your family what happened, best believe she will tell her own version of the story first and spin the narrative, and now you're the bad guy type of thing. It's always about ruining one's image, right?
Yeah.
I've never been one to do that, right? Even if somebody did me wrong, like if I'm going to talk about stuff like that, let's say I do mention that, you know, some wrongdoings that were done to me, right? I mention this stuff in private. I don't out this stuff online. I don't go online with it. I don't take it to social media. Honestly, I think that's just kind of childish to take things to social media that really should be private, especially when it comes down to like personal affairs and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think that's people have a really bad habit of putting folks' personal affairs on social media for the world to see.
Even in group chats and stuff, their first objective will be to attack your credibility and not have real confrontation, which at the end of the day, not have love for you either. Because, you know, like, if you love a friend, like, even if you hate them, you're gonna want the best for them, you're gonna tell them the truth. Like, you messed up because you did this to me, you did this, we're in a relationship too. Same idea. So they feel harmed by what you did to them, they feel hurt. So they want to feel stronger. So they create the illusion of strength that other people will perceive them as a powerful person, when in reality powerful is confrontation between two people, not in front of everybody. And they're so threatened that like you can be strong just in a one-on-one relationship versus everybody else being involved, which is how they empower themselves, which is not like true.
Not to mention, I think real strength comes from I guess all the adversity, right? Who is stronger, right? The person who seeks the validation of others, you know, who seeks the validation of the world, or the one that despite the world turning against them, they still stick to their convictions and stick to their code, and they still stick by the decisions that they made despite the fact that everyone else around them can turn against them. Who do you think is stronger?
Well, here's something that's linked to that, one of my favorite quotes. Just know, before they hated you, they hated me. And that's Jesus talking, you know?
Before they hated you, they hated me.
Just know that, you know, he's considered the best person in history, you know, and look, they hated him at the time. So, same principle with us. We gotta just stick to our own path regardless of outer perception.
Didn't they say that hate was just one step away from love?
No, it says if you have hatred for your brother, then that's murder. You know, what love is, what I was talking about earlier, it's the truth, it's intentionality and directness. Not attacking somebody's character, as Kevin was talking about.
Yeah, that's the one thing I just do not do. I don't attack people's image, and I don't use
it's cowardice.
People's, I guess, lack thereof to discredit somebody either. Because you did mention that people do that a lot too. People will be like, you know, if you're making a good point or if you're making sense, the first thing people do, what do? They go to your profile and they try to look at some crazy stuff, be like, nah, this man's corny as hell. Oh, you got anime pictures, I can't take you seriously type stuff. Oh, we can't believe a single word you yeah, we can't believe a thing coming out of your mouth. We can't take a single thing you say seriously. You got anime pictures on your profile picture. Just whatever the case may be. And it's like, well, I mean, what does that have to do with the words coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, that's another credibility thing, but going back to like the love thing, like that's the most threatening thing you can do. Somebody that hates you is love them, because whenever you're doing good for yourself, aka like if you love everybody around you, there's no like war in your mind, like you're just at peace, so you can focus on yourself. If you're obsessed with your ex or like somebody that you're having conflict with, you're in hell. Like you're putting yourself through that. You're not gonna be able to accomplish anything because you're obsessed. It's like, what's happening? How can I hurt this person? How can I regain my composure? But it's not, you need peace.
This is why you need to be one with yourself first. You know, when you let external forces start to drive your emotions and whatnot, you will never truly be at peace. You know, you'll never, because there will always be some sort of external thing that's going to come in and wreck your inner, just knock you off center. There's always some external force that'll knock you off center.
Because our self is the one thing in this entire world that we have control of. Nothing else. Everything else is completely out of our control. So, and to an extent, it's the only thing that we should really concern ourselves with as far as like working towards.
And that's why I'm so sold with personal sovereignty. Personal sovereignty
I don't know what that means.
is someone tells me after this video, look it up. Speaking of this vid, it's been 40 fucking minutes. I'm gonna try to shorten this down to maybe 25 to 30.
Okay.
I don't know if I can, but we'll see. But anyway, I think this is a good. I wasn't expecting to react to a video like this. I was actually gonna pull up some Andrew Tate stuff and have react to that. But I'll pull up some Andrew Tate clips, and then next time I'll already have them up.
I'm cringing.
They'll already be up on the computer. What do you mean you're cringing?
I have a bad perception of them.
That's what makes this even
You
better.
wanted me-
Yes.
I've never watched this video, so you wanted me to react to him. I do have a bias against it, but I'll try to ignore that.
And you said you've only seen one thing from
Only seen
his,
one,
which
he
is
was like, yeah, people will go to me and they say, I want to kill myself, and I told them one thing, have you ever had a six-pack? And I was like, okay, that's a cool one, sure, but I don't know what else.
it's like, hey, go and get a
That's
six
a
pack,
cool
and then
one,
once you do that, then come talk to me again.
Well, you're not gonna want to do bad things to yourself if you have a six-pack if you work towards it.
And
Is
that
what
was,
I'm saying.
but he knew that though. He knew it.
Yeah, but not to talk about that fella.
It felt like, how did that rub you the wrong way?
No, I agreed with that. That was a cool video, but
Oh.
it's like I've never seen anything else, so I can't have an opinion, especially a good one.
Perfect.
It's a dangerous
This is why I
thing
want
do.
to take. This is why I want to take controversial clips
Okay.
too.
Yes, and next time.
The clips that just make them super polarizing and all this stuff. So with that being said, guys, we are gonna get up out of here because it is late. I got to get to work in the morning, and so you got any social medias as to where they can find you, or are you just like nah?
Oh no, they don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alrighty then, you heard it first, folks. We out.